Hey YouTube, this is Russ Music Park Fan 62. Here is some tips and tricks for first times at Dollywood. Now, Dollywood is becoming one of the busiest parks out there outside of like Universal or Disney, and becoming a fan favorite to a lot of people. And with that means big crowds. So, here are some tips and tricks you can do to get your day along as fast as possible. First, before you even leave the house, one of the biggest things is to buy your tickets online. This way you will avoid the line for tickets, as that can get rather long, especially in the mornings once security opens. So that is something to consider. Also, if you are bringing a pet with you, they do have something called Dollywood, that can keep your pet for you for the day. I am not entirely sure on how much that is. So I would highly suggest you could contact the park on those prices. The next thing is parking. Now, parking is $35. $30 or $35, I can't remember. So one of the best things to do is try and get there as early as you can, as that parking lot does fill up rather fast. Now, I'm not entirely sure how it works, as the front parking lot is designed for people who have a disability. So all of that is parking for like handicapped and all of that. I'm not entirely sure how that one works. I'm not sure if that's preferred or what. So the best thing to do, if you have any questions on that, is contact the park. The parking lot itself opens up 2 hours before the park does, so keep that in mind. Now, people will start lining up at security, and all of that is mostly just waiting for security. Now, security will come and open that, I believe it's like 30-ish minutes before the park opens. So keep that in mind. Now, once you go through security, you head toward the entrance. Now, keep in mind, at the entrance, they do stuff like the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff like that. That typically happens, I think it's like 5 minutes before the park opens. And then they start getting people through the gates. They will have people that will scan your tickets or your pass for you. And then they have another one that you can do yourself. Now, the next thing is, once you come through the gates, you have your choice of right or left. If you go to your left, this will take you up toward Timber Canyon. This will get you to stuff like Thunderhead, Mystery Mine, Wild Eagle, Fire Chaser Express, Tennessee Tornado, as well as Wildwood Grove. If you go to the right, this will take you toward rides like Lightning Rod, the cars next to Lightning Rod, Smoky Mountain River Rampage, the train, etc. Also, if you've not had breakfast yet, when you come, one of the biggest things I would highly suggest you do as soon as you get there is get in line for cinnamon bread, as they typically open the bakery right around the time as soon as the park opens. And that way you can go in and get your cinnamon bread. And then they also have stuff like Starbucks coffee, as well as hot chocolate or hot coffee, chocolate milk, regular milk, bottled water. There may be other things in there as well. It doesn't hurt to ask. And then during certain times of the year, they will have specialty syrups. So for Christmas, they have stuff like, I believe they have stuff like candy cane and all of that. At Halloween, they have like pumpkin, stuff like that. Now, if you decide to go and it's very busy, you may want something like a fast pass. That is, as you're going toward Thunderhead, there is a station right there in that building. You can talk to them about it. A lot of that also depends on the demand for the day. So as sometimes they will be sold out and sometimes they won't. So keep in mind that. Also, depending on how much you want to ride and do, will depend on the fast pass that you get. If you want to do everything, I think that top fast pass is like $99 or $100, somewhere in there. So keep that in mind. Now, no matter if you go to the left or to the right, there is going to be a rope drop till the park opens. Once the park opens, that's when everybody scatters. There may be some rides still doing some testing when the park opens. So if that is the case, just stay calm, and the park will, and that ride will open as soon as testing is done and it is completed everything it has to do. Now, the next thing is this. Especially if you go in the summer, it is going to be very hot. And I doubt you want to have to keep buying stuff like bottled water and Gatorade and Powerades all day. So the best thing to do is get a souvenir cup. One souvenir cup there is like $16 or $18. With, I believe, free refills that day, and then I believe it's like $1.99 if you decide to go the next day. Or for a little bit more money, you can upgrade to the all season, and that will get you free refills all season. For people who may have, where maybe they can't drink a lot of carbonated beverages or stuff like that, some machines will have stuff like tea. You can also find fresh brewed tea in certain places as well. I believe the ice cream parlor has it. The bakery may have it. I know a couple of the restaurants do. I'm not entirely sure if they will fill it up in the mug or not. That is something, if you go, you can ask them. Now, the next thing is, and the good thing is, the more you buy, the cheaper it's going to be. Also, back to the carbonated beverages, in a couple of spots, they do have the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. As they do have more options in there as well, stuff like High C, Peace Tea, and some other stuff like that. What else? Keep an eye on the weather. the weather in that part of the state during the summer can be very unpredictable. So the best thing to do is keep an eye on the weather. If you have a smartphone with you, I would highly suggest you download any of the Knoxville weather or news stations, and get that weather, as well as stuff like AccuWeather is good, or something like the Weather Channel. If there is lightning in the area, I think it's within like 10 miles of the park or something in that ballpark, all the rides will shut down. And you can do stuff like indoor shows and eat and shop and stuff like that until it passes. And then as soon as the weather clears and there's not been lightning for a certain period of time, the rides will reopen. Also, if you want to go to the water park, when you come in through the entrance, after you pay for parking, you will turn to the right and then follow that path. Splash Country is a separate attraction, so keep that in mind. But the good thing is, if you buy a 2-day or a 3-day pass or ticket, that is also covered in that. Last thing is, keep in mind as well, certain times of the year they do have events that bring in more people. So I believe coming up, or it is going now, is stuff like Sevier County Days, which means if you work or live in the county, you can get into the park for a discounted rate. That also happens later in the year for Smoky Mountain Christmas. If you have any comments, questions, or concern, I would love to hear it. That is most of what you need to know for Dollywood.